And we'll now take you through the latest details. Prime Minister Narendra Modi having tweeted on Ambedkar Legacy Faceoff, where he has fact-checked the Congress on the charge they have pressed against the BJP. This is the latest tweet by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who said, and I quote, "If the Congress and its rotten ecosystem think that malicious lies can hide their misdeeds of several years, especially their insult towards Dr. Ambedkar, they are gravely mistaken. The people of India have seen time and again how one party, led by one dynasty, has indulged in every possible dirty trick to obliterate the legacy of Dr. Ambedkar and humiliate the SC/ST communities." In fact, it is a series of tweets that have been put out by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The other tweet that reads, and I quote, "The list of Congress's sins towards Dr. Ambedkar includes getting him defeated in the elections not once but twice, Pandit Nehru campaigning against him and making his loss a prestige issue, denying him a Bharat Ratna, denying his portrait a place of pride in Parliament's Central Hall." Another tweet that he's put out that reads, and I quote, "Congress can try as they want, but they can't deny that the worst massacres against SC/ST communities have happened in their regimes. For years, they sat in power, but they did nothing substantiative to empower the SC/ST communities." In Parliament, Home Minister Amit Shah exposed the Congress's dark history of insulting Dr. Ambedkar and ignoring the SC/ST communities. They are clearly stung and stunned by the facts he presented, which is why they are now indulging in theatrics. Sadly for them, people know the truth. Let me straight away cut across to Senior Executive Editor Abhishek Kapoor joining us on the phone line. Abhishek, it is an all-out attack, as Prime Minister has not just fact-checked Congress on B.R. Ambedkar, but certainly as the Congress may have no face to show as they've been taking on this face-off.
Well, absolutely, Suresh. It's a tweet storm which the Prime Minister has used to really take the battle right into the Congress camp. He's saying that the Congress is nobody to really talk about Ambedkar. It represents a rotten ecosystem that carried out a vilification campaign against Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar. It was the Congress which denied him a Lok Sabha entry to the extent that Pandit Nehru, our first Prime Minister, made it a prestige issue and in fact campaigned for the defeat of Ambedkar. The fact that he was denied a Bharat Ratna by the Congress and the fact that it was subsequently, of course, given during the Chandrasekhar regime, Chandrasekhar government in 1991, if I am correct, and then, of course, denied Baba Saheb Ambedkar a pride of place in Parliament's Central Hall. So the whole list of actions of the Congress party, Prime Minister bringing out, which clearly show in stark detail as to what was the Congress position when Baba Saheb Ambedkar was alive, what was the Congress position vis-a-vis Ambedkar's politics, and now for the Congress party acting as if they own Ambedkar in any manner, the kind of protest we have seen in Parliament today with the Congress MPs carrying placards and posters of Baba Saheb Ambedkar. It's essentially a mockery of Congress's own politics, and that's what Prime Minister is indicating to with his tweet storm. As I mentioned, Suresha, 6 or 7 tweets where Prime Minister is in fact calling the bluff of the Congress party on insofar as the legacy of Ambedkar is concerned. He in fact goes on to say that led by one dynasty, the Congress has indulged in every possible dirty trick to obliterate the legacy of Dr. Ambedkar and humiliate the SC/ST communities. And the list of Congress's sins against Ambedkar are long, of which he has given 4 or 5 examples, which I mentioned include denying him Bharat Ratna, campaigning for the defeat of Ambedkar, denying him a seat in the Congress, in the Lok Sabha, denying his portrait in the Central Hall of Parliament, and then, of course, the Congress party trying to really appropriate the legacy of Baba Saheb Ambedkar. Prime Minister, in fact, goes on to add a number of massacres of the SC/ST community that took place when the Congress party was at the helm. And then, of course, he goes on to tag Union Home Minister Amit Shah's address. It's specific to the elements in which Shah also targeted the Congress party for its position on Ambedkar. So I think this is essentially becoming an all-out war, Suesha, between the Congress and the BJP, and Prime Minister there with that tweet storm, not leaving any quarters insofar as Congress's double standards on Baba Saheb Ambedkar go.
Oh, yes, absolutely, Abhishek. And given the way how the Congress has been mounting this attack against the BJP, it would be interesting to watch whether the Congress will actually be able to counter these facts that have been stated by Prime Minister Modi. And if not, how will they take a turn around?
100%. And, we saw those pictures coming in from Parliament where the Congress MPs were carrying placards of Baba Saheb Ambedkar and protesting as if they own the legacy of Baba Saheb Ambedkar in every manner, and that the BJP is on some kind of an offensive insofar as that legacy is concerned. But look at the 4 days of the Constitution debate in Parliament. In a way, the Congress position has been found wanting. They have been ineffective. It has been very difficult for their speakers, including the Gandhis, to really defend some of the brutalities that were committed in terms of breaking the letter and the spirit of the Constitution, both the letter and the spirit of the Constitution during 1950s at the time of Pandit Nehru himself. From the word go, in fact, the First Amendment itself was effectively a compromise on freedom of expression or attack on the absolutism of freedom of expression, whatever the justifications at that time. And then, of course, the big blot of emergency which was brought in just because the Congress party thought that they have to defend Indira Gandhi, and they thought that the emergency was the only way they could have defended the political career of Indira Gandhi at that time. And of course, then the litany of examples that have been given by the BJP speakers, including the manner in which while we are an avowedly secular constitution, and the Congress party brought in the word secular through an amendment in 1976 during the period of emergency, the fact that the constitution has been allowed to effectively become a soft Sharia constitution, also the fact that apart from emergency, the whole episode of Shah Bano and the manner in which all the amendments were brought in to circumvent the Supreme Court verdict, and to that extent, in fact, from the time of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru to the time of Indira Gandhi to the time of even Rajiv Gandhi, the manner in which a committed judiciary was sought and the Supreme Court hierarchy manipulated to achieve those objectives. So I think the Congress has been on a weak wicket. Perhaps the Congress party strategists would have thought that it was a wrong call to ask for a constitution debate, given that they failed really to pin the BJP inside the houses of Parliament, and maybe that's why they thought that as a last-ditch attempt to come out of the Parliament and do this placard and protesting. But even this backfiring with the doubling down that we are seeing from the top of the BJP. Earlier we had the party fielding a Buddhist Union Minister, Kiren Rijiju, in defense of Ambedkar, and now even the Prime Minister coming out in an all-out frontal attack on the Congress.
Oh, yes, absolutely, Abhishek. We wait and watch how the situation develops. I want to thank you for joining us.